Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the channel. Lately I've been thinking a lot about AI and how it's slowly working its way into different aspects of our life, and I kind of wanted to rant for a little bit about how things look like they're going right now, and it's kind of a ridiculous direction that doesn't really fit in with, the whole different sci-fi routes that have come up in fiction. It sounds like we're heading down a road that looks kind of stupid, quite frankly, and it's not this super cool, futuristic AI robot future that we were promised, and it looks like it's going to be something a little bit more dumbed down than that. With that in mind, when we think of AI, we think of these super futuristic ideas with robots doing things and helping us do things in daily life and helping us live like that. And you're looking at things like iRobot, or you're looking at the really dystopian stuff that happens in like Terminator and how AI takes over everything and eventually tries to eliminate humanity. But we're not living in that really cool place that some people would like us to think. Of course, people like Elon Musk are trying to say that we're going to have robots available for people in 2030, which doesn't look like it's going to happen in 2030. That was a super optimistic thing. It may be quite a bit longer before we even see robotics assisting us like that, or AI-driven robots doing things, But it's kind of this idea of all these companies continue to promise us so many things about what AI is going to do and what AI is capable of, and none of that's happening. And we're seeing AI getting used for really stupid, mundane stuff that it frankly doesn't need to be used for. Yet a bunch of people want to push it to be used in those ways, even though that for the long-term benefits of AI doesn't really make any sense, because it's things that don't improve the human condition in any capacity. It just makes certain things easier for people who may not be able to do them as well as other people. It's kind of the jumping off point, because ChatGPT was introduced to us as essentially what's in the name. It's a chatbot, basically, that you just ask it questions or type different queries or prompts into it, and it will give you some type of answer based on the information that it's aggregated, which is fine for a first test, I guess. But I mean, at this point, it's been around for a few years now, and it's still just a glorified search engine that isn't even that effective, because they have found that ChatGPT is very prone to giving you information that just confirms what you think or trends toward the pattern of what you're already thinking and asking. And it also does nothing to deter you from being shown misinformation or even believing your own misinformation or delusions that may result from that, which is why we've had a few instances where people have done really insane things because they spent too much time talking to an AI chatbot that only, drives what they already think. Like, it's not even as cool as Google, because with Google, you get a bunch of different things you can read through. You're not just spat out information from the one source of ChatGPT and then just expected to go along with that, and if you aren't self-aware enough to question what it's saying to you, then you're just going to believe everything that it tells you. And that's not really cool, because we end up with a bunch of people that not only cannot discern what is factual information that they're being given or just confirmation bias, but people who are also unwilling to think for themselves without first asking the AI what to do. And that's obviously a bad place to be. But again, that is a glorified search engine that is less effective because it doesn't necessarily show you multiple sources of information. That's number one, where this is kind of stupid. Number two is generative AI uses. Now, imagine, if you will, lots of creative people out there who can do all these things themselves without having to rely on AI to do that. Those people already exist. You can get art from them or get music from them. They make music, whatever, for people making funny videos and stuff. But all of a sudden, we decided that, we're just going to use AI to do these things that are already being done by people at a high quality. Now we're just going to let the AI spit out whatever slop that we ask it to spit out. And keep in mind with generative AI, like generative art, it's using information it's already been trained on. It's using existing art that has already been made by a person to give you an artistic rendering of whatever you prompt it to. So anything it gives you is not necessarily original art. It's going to be influenced by bits and pieces of existing art that's already been made, and then it spits something out for you, which I guess is fine if you, for personal use, you want a pretty picture for something. I mean, I guess go for it. But jumping to the point where some companies that own these AIs want it to be used in a wider capacity, that seems a bit ridiculous to have all this facsimile art that's been made just floating around out there when, you know, they've never even gotten permission from the original artists that they trained the original data on in order for the AI to generate an image. Same goes for music. It's just giving a facsimile based on existing ideas that real people have already made. It's just been trained on that with no permission, and then spits out a thing based on whatever it's prompted, which again, it's using bits and pieces of existing information. And on some of these things like Suno, they've already caught it, the AI literally plagiarizing stuff, like it's spitting out something that is exactly the same as a song it was already trained on. You can obviously see a problem if people want to distribute the AI music. That's a big copyright violation, obviously. It's sort of this ridiculous thing of this devaluation of real human-made stuff by allowing AI slop to just go wherever it wants, and also people being too lazy to just do it themselves. Like, a lot of this discussion today has been brought on by the fact I saw somebody post something on Threads that was, you know, pro-AI music, where they were calling it, you know, gatekeeping, that people couldn't just, that everyone couldn't just make whatever and upload it to a streaming platform, which makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, first of all, gatekeeping exists anyway. The gatekeepers are the streaming platforms, which are kind of gatekeeping, you know, success of artists behind their playlists, which is mostly what drives a lot of these streaming platforms and the streaming numbers, is whether or not it's on a playlist or promoted in some way by the platform itself. So the gatekeeping already exists from the industry. You know, this isn't artists gatekeeping everyone else from making music, or because they're saying it's bad if you do use AI to make it. Like, that's not where the gatekeeping is, first of all. So it's a ridiculous idea. Second of all, if you're calling it gatekeeping, you're basically saying that it's gatekeeping that people that aren't, you know, as creative or creative-minded aren't able to make music that they want to and put it on there. I mean, everything doesn't have to be for everybody, you know. Some people are not meant to make music. They're just either not good at it or they're not creative enough to be able to do a creative field. It's not gatekeeping people by saying that you can't, because no one's saying that everyone can't make music. Everybody can absolutely easily make music today and upload it on a streaming platform. It's just people don't always have the time, the creative abilities, or the skill with a musical instrument or singing or whatever to be able to make that. You know, not everyone has to be capable of making music. Now they're saying that AI, I guess, leveled the playing field, because now anybody, even anyone with no talent, can make music, which, let's be honest, you're not making music. You're having an AI spit out a facsimile of music that already exists. You're still doing something entirely uncreative, and then uploading that on a streaming platform and expecting that to have success. Like, what's the deal with that kind of instant gratification? You just want to type in a song prompt to an AI and then get the thing and then upload it, you know, a few minutes later. Like, that's taken zero effort for you to do that, and yet these tech people still expect to get success from that music, even though they spend no effort doing it, which is kind of the silly part. I guess if you want to call it gatekeeping, fine. But I'm under the impression if you want to be successful at a thing, it takes some level of effort of you actually doing hard work to do that. And a musician is doing the hard work. They're writing the song, they're playing the song, they're doing all the stuff behind the scenes that you got to do to make a real piece of music. Someone sitting on a computer is not doing any of that. And because they couldn't do it before, they call the attitude people have toward AI music gatekeeping. Because now all of a sudden they can do the thing and they think they should be allowed to do it because it's just available for them there. Let's use an analogy here. Let's talk about basketball. Anybody in the world can play basketball if they want to. You may not be very good at it, but everyone can play basketball. That's fine. Everyone can also make music. That's fine. But is everyone going to be professional at those things? Is everyone, just because everyone can play basketball, should they be in the NBA? No, they shouldn't. The same as just because everyone can make music, does that mean everyone's music should be good and should get high streaming numbers and give them success? No. So that's kind of the thing, is the cream rises to the top, and the people that are putting in the work, that are actually at that talent level, they should be the ones who get rewarded for doing it, not some yeehaw out here that's making random AI slop and just throwing it out there to see what sticks. I'm just really hung up on the idea of someone saying that it's gatekeeping, that everyone can't make music, because, that implies that before that people were saying if you're not good at music and you're not creative, don't make it. People weren't doing that. No one was doing that. But they call it gatekeeping now because people complain that people are uploading low-effort AI music. It's just an insane idea. But my broader point, I guess, is right now we're in this ridiculousness of AI being used for really mundane stuff like word processing, or being used in a really stupid, ridiculous way of generating creative content. And that's where we are with the main uses of AI right now, which is kind of my point of how stupid this is. What are we doing, people? Seriously, what are we doing? We're just letting AI make, fun little pictures and funny videos of dead people wrestling. That's where we are right now. Or we're on the people talking to AIs like it's their friend, like Gemini, like Google is essentially promoting it as a friend you talk to for advice. Asking it things of how do I unclog my sink drain? That's whatever, fine, go ahead and do that. But talking to it like it's a friend that gives you advice, come on, people. You don't need to be asking an AI every 5 seconds, what do I do? Figure your stuff out, or hell, text or call a friend and ask a real person that's been in the situation for advice. Because again, that circles us back around to the whole idea of we're going to end up with a bunch of people who don't know how to think for themselves because they need to ask the AI first. And that's a completely insane, stupid direction for us to be going in right now. At least the people that have made Claude have some pragmatic idea of where AI can go and what it should and shouldn't be allowed to do. But no one else making AI wants to put any of those controls out. They're content to do this stupid stuff here, or you get the other weird people on the other extreme that are pushing really hard for general intelligence, which, that pushes us toward the Skynet avenue, where we're using AI to make decisions for us because it's gotten smarter than we are. And then it decides, let's blow up the whole human race because that makes the most objective sense for protecting the Earth. Our main use right now, we should be using it as an assistive tool to help us solve problems, either with society, medical research, food, all the different difficult problems that we have to deal with in society. AI should be assisting the experts in those fields in how to figure this stuff out, how to make new discoveries, how to apply it to what we already know. All those things. They're really, that kind of good stuff. Maybe start working toward aid robots for people that struggle to take care of themselves because of a disability or something like that, And its AI is programmed to know how to deal with those things. Don't waste its potential on this ridiculous crap that doesn't matter and, is literally just putting creative people out of work and said, but let's not push toward this, let's have it do everything for us and think for us type of route. We need that middle ground of where it is an assisted tool for problem solving to push humanity further. That's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be trying to replace humanity on either end of the spectrum here. Anyway, guys, that's kind of my 2 cents on the whole AI thing of where we are right now. It looks like we're in a really insane, ridiculous spot that's not this super cool utopian future, but neither this dystopian crazy thing. It's just really mundane, dumb stuff, and people need to figure out, a practical way to use AI instead of what they're trying to push right now. So like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this little rant today. Leave a comment down below if you like. I'm sure other people have got some things to say about this. Don't forget to click the bell so that you know when a new video is out on the channel. And I'll see you guys next time in another video. Have a good one.